So we did this, and we mentioned this earlier, but we did this P&L for a purpose event. We interviewed 24 market experts, including Ben, over a 12-hour period. And you went through and created a song that fit most for every one of them. Like, you have this massive thread on Twitter, which I would highly recommend people go read. And I think today you're going to talk about the one you created for Ben, right?
We got to talk about this one. I didn't. So far, nobody has, and there were definitely some risks on this list. I was like, I really hope
No
I don't
pushback.
tick somebody off. No, nobody's directly pushed back. I got a few very nice note from Perth Toll and Meb Faber approving of the George Michael song I picked for her. So there's been some good feedback so far and approvals. But Ben, I got to ask, because I picked you a 2004 Kelly Clarkson song. Are you familiar?
Oh yeah, of course. No.
It's an inescapable song, but
it was inescapable, and this is when my daughters were all in their American Idol phase. So we had a Kelly Clarkson phase in the Hunt House.
Now, do you know anything about the making of the song?
I know nothing about the making of the song. Nothing.
Okay, so the thing that triggered this had to be the song is your topic that you talked about was the map is not the terrain. And we were talking about inflation, which for whatever reason, there's this other indie pop rock song from the same era, from about 2002 or 3 by this band called the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Have you ever heard their song Maps?
I have, in fact. Yeah, no. It's crazy. I'm a Yeah Yeah Yeahs fan. Go figure.
So for the people who don't know, that's the Wait, They Don't Love You Like I Love You song. It gets played in all sorts of things. So what's really interesting to me is one wouldn't know that Maps is actually the influence for the giant Kelly Clarkson hit. It was actually the source material to make the song. So Max Martin, who's the super producer, and Dr. Luke, who whatever with his name, we won't get into that stuff in the last few years. They're in the studio, and this is a weird thing I think a lot of people don't know about some of the biggest pop songwriters. They don't listen to pop music.
Right.
They listen to everything else. In fact, in many cases, they'll directly avoid the pop charts until they're trying to just fine tune in the song that's already written, recorded, and ready to go. And they don't, because they're always looking for what's the new interesting thing. And so Max Martin is in his post Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, everything else phase. And he's looking for, I want to do rock again, or I want to do something in that range. And so him and his partner, Dr. Luke, are listening to the indie rock songs of the day. And they come across this song by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, the song Maps, and they're like, oh, I hate when it gets to the chorus, because the song goes here, and then it builds, and then it builds, and it's ready to explode, and it goes all the way back down. And they were like, all right, well, let's just rewrite the song the way we would write it and see if we can make it a smash. So they write Since You've Been Gone. Funny extra detail. Were you familiar with the wonderful body of work by Pink, who also got a shout out on the playlist? Did your daughters like Pink, Ben?
I mean, I heard, of course they did, right? But I'm not as familiar with Pink's oeuvre as Kelly Clarkson, for sure.
Well, we definitely got, for our friends with the Pink ETF, we definitely got a Raise Your Glass reference in on that playlist too. Because I just wanted to make sure I mentioned.
I'm familiar. Yes, I'm familiar with that song. Of course,
another great song. Yeah. Pink's fascinating in her own right, but we're gonna leave this out. So she says no to the song. She gets first look at the song, and she's the top pick to take the song, but she says no. Then they try to pitch it to, I want to say it was Hilary Duff. I had a note here, but now I can't. So Hilary Duff, though, she can't. So Dr. Luke, I think, wants it to be her. She can't hit the high notes. So they're like, all right, well, she's out.
She's out.
So then Clive Davis is like, all right, well, what are you looking for? And Max Martin is like, I'm done with the Backstreet Boys thing. I need somebody who can rock. And he says, this Kelly Clarkson American Idol girl. And he's like, I don't want another that. I don't want another created pop star. It's like, just go out and meet with her. And so they go out, they sit with her, they play the song, they talk. And she says hey, no, I actually really like all this rock stuff. That was part of the cool thing about her as an American Idol contestant. And so she gets the song. The genius of the song, again, is that if you listen to it and you think about it dynamically, if you listen to Maps, you hear, we get to the chorus, They Don't Love You Like I Love You, and the song goes off the cliff. You listen to Since You've Been Gone, and my God, when that chorus hits, you have been thrust into perhaps the perfect marriage of basically 80s pop like 90s Euro stuff. And we have a new era of American pop rock music that enters the charts for the periods that follow.
That's a great story, Matt. I'm really glad to hear it. And I've always liked Kelly Clarkson because she seems authentic to me. What the hell do I know? But this makes her seem even more authentic to me. I love it.
I'm fascinated by this too. Comment on this if you like the aspect of these songwriters trying to find the right missionary to break their story. Like they have this thing they want to do. They're not going to look for the headlines to find the story. They're going to look for all the other places to piece together the story they want to tell. How does that strike you? Like, what is it about that process that makes this?
I love it. I mean, I totally love it because it just relates. It's, the construction of pop stars, right? We all know it exists. It's the same way you had the construction of media stories and politicians and the like. And it's really interesting to me when you've got talent in the construction part and it meets the talent in the talent who can hit the notes and develop it and deliver it authentically. There's a lot of carryovers here because that's what it takes. That's what clicks in our brain to make a song or a politician or an investment idea. That's what makes it work. You put all those pieces together.
And I'm so fascinated by how like talent is a small thing. Talent is an individual thing. What we do with the talent becomes the popular thing. That becomes the thing that swirls that everybody can talk about, everybody can sing along to or whatever. But that authentic talent is a small thing that has to be small and local and personal and all those things definitionally.
Love it.
This needs to be like a series of podcasts, Matt, where you talk about how you came up with each song for each person. Because it's like you have such an amazing story behind each one. Like you just write these down.
Yeah. This has got to happen. We got to make this happen.
Well, I tried. I did liner notes that, like you said, they're in a thread on Twitter. There's a Cultish Creative post where it's all written out. And I think the song links came across better. But yeah, I mean, before you know it, I'm going to be trying to say why Islands in the Stream is a relevant song for macro strategists. But why not?
But why not?
But why not? I'm going to have some fun.